I don't know, has any of you ever tried to read the Brer Rabbit stories by Uncle Remus? Tried to read? Were you successful? Yeah? It's pretty hard unless you know the language. Unless you know the language, it's pretty hard. And so about 10 years ago, I'd been reading some of the Brer Rabbit stories, and as some of you all know, I like the International Phonetic Alphabet, and I was trying to turn that language into the International Phonetic Alphabet so anybody could read it. But then it finally occurred to me after I'd done a lot of them that nobody much reads the International Phonetic Alphabet. So I decided maybe to do something else. And so I was listening to an old-fashioned banjo player named Joe Ayers, and he was playing some songs that were written in the 1850s. A lot of times those old songs are preserved in sheet music, or these were actually in banjo picking books about banjo playing. And so that's where I got some of the tunes. The interesting thing about this is anybody in here, and somebody has, I'll bet, milked a cow. I knew that. All right, milked a cow. So y'all know that has to happen. Is that right? Does the cow get uncomfortable if she doesn't get milked? It's real uncomfortable. And milk doesn't come from a carton. It comes from a cow. How many of y'all know what Simmons are? Someone know what Simmons are? Simmons are persimmons. Now you know what a persimmon is? How many of you have eaten a persimmon? How many of you eaten a green one? Uh-huh. You know the meaning of mouth turned wrong side out for sure if you eat a persimmon before it fell. And then the word in this first song we're going to do is teetotal. So the song is about someone called Sis Cow, and the tune is an old song called Bury Me Beneath the Willow. So we're going to attempt to render this thing. Brer Rabbit's babies were needing some cow's milk. Sis Cow says, I'll give you none at all. Least you can do then, old Brer Rabbit answered, is help me to make some Simmons fall. Well, she said, oh, all right, and she started running. She gave that Simmon tree a mighty punch and knocked enough Simmons loose from that Simmon tree to give all those bunnies a munch. We're going to attempt to pick. When she tried to step back from that Simmon tree, she started to switch and to buck. Her horn was a stick and slammed through that Simmon tree, and Sis Cow was teetotal stuck. Now comes a time when old Brer Rabbit comes up to her and he's thinking about her well-being, believe it or not. No, I don't believe it. You'll need a milking 4 in the morning, that he said with a smile. I'll get my young uns, they'll bring some buckets, 'cause you're gonna be here a while. Those little bunnies came running with their buckets. They got all the milk that they would need. Sis Cow, she kept on muttering and a mumbling, 'cause she was still stuck in that tree. Now, there may be some feminists in here, and if you are, don't get upset, because there's going to be payback in a little bit. I want to ask you about another turn. Have you ever heard somebody talk about these characters and call them Brer Rabbit? Y'all heard Brer Rabbit? Brer Rabbit is not true Southern. It's Brer Rabbit. Brer Rabbit, not even Brer Rabbit. At least where I grew up. And I think I grew up in a dialect pocket in Anson County, a dialect pocket that was probably pretty current about the time these stories were being written down. Joel Chandler Harris, the reason I like his work is he did the best job of anybody I know of in capturing the dialect I know, which is mine. Now this was North Georgia, was the area I understand that he was taking the language of. But my county and my little town were much more southern than I am now. For example, in a little bit we're going to sing a song about a C-H-I-M-B-L-E-Y. Y'all know what that is? A chimney. And I was out of college, I guess, well, in college, before I realized that it wasn't chimney. It's chimney. This song here deals with Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox and a contest. Now, Brer Rabbit is the star of these stories, and you certainly remember the Tar Baby. And you may remember some more stories about Brer Rabbit and his friends. But Brer Rabbit is the star, but Brer Rabbit is not an altogether admirable character. He's admirable in that he works his head, but he works his head to keep from working. And so Brer Rabbit's always thinking, no, now he's sharp. He is sharp, but don't expect him to do any favors for you. In the Brer Rabbit stories, there's a woman they call Miss Meadows, and they never do quite tell you who Miss Meadows is, but she is a marriageable aged lady who has some marriageable aged young women living there. Now, I don't know that there's any relationship with them, but the stories refer to it as Miss Meadows and the gals. We'd probably say Miss Meadows and the girls. Well, what's happening is Miss Meadows is a good cook. And so about every day she fixes supper. And sometimes she'll have poke salad, or she'll have some salad greens. It's spelled S-A-L-A-D for y'all who are not Brer Rabbit dialecticians. But anyhow, she has a good meal every night, and so all of the eligible folks come around there. Now, the first song we sang, Brer Rabbit was assumingly Brer Rabbit was already married because he had a bunch of little bunnies to come and get milk for the supper. So this song is before that, when Brer Rabbit was still a-courting, and Brer Fox was, and Brer Tarrypin was. How many of y'all know what a tarrypin is? And y'all ever heard of a terrapin? Nobody ever heard of a terrapin? Well, the word is terrapin, is that not right? It is terrapin, a land animal, terrapin, but it just doesn't have the cachet that terrapin's got. Terrapin. So we got Brer Tarrypin. Now, Brer Tarrypin is pretty smart too. You see things about the race between Brer Rabbit and Brer Tarrypin, but Brer Tarrypin, if you read these stories, Brer Tarrypin was sneaky. All of Brer Tarrypin's family looked exactly alike. So what Brer Tarrypin did was he stationed people all along the race. So when they needed somebody to be at a certain point, that person appeared, and the other person went on off home. So he wasn't exactly, he was somewhat mild, but he was cagey too. Let me see if there's anything else. Flint rock. Who knows what a flint rock is? Flint rock. Okay, you know, can you get any dust out of a flint rock? Not if you hit it with a hammer, you don't. Well, this song has in a flint rock, Miss Meadows and the girls, Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and a few of the others. And this is the way that Miss Meadows and the girls decided they were going to get rid of these men who always showed up at supper time. Okay, this one is the key of C, so we'll adjust the banjo accordingly. All right, this is called Brer Rabbit Raises a Dust. Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox are sporting, Miss Meadows' girls they were courting. One of them was always hanging around. Well, the girls got tired of it, wanted to find a way to stop it, and this is the solution that they found. They said, we don't want to marry a pesky Tom, Dick, or Harry. We want to make these drudges go away. We'll have a picnic by the big flint that rocked down by the pathway, and play a game to send them on their way. Y'all keep picking on, tell them something. This song was published in 1850. The tune, I copped the tune. It was called Sweet Annie of the Vale and was written by a medical doctor. And we'll go into the chorus. We'll say swing, Swing, swing that hammer, swing. Swing till the daylight fades away. But you'll only get 3 chances, for the girl of your fancy's only dust from a flint rock takes a day. Well, in the story, and y'all, I'm gonna leave out the instrumental and talk. In the story, Brer Rabbit tries to get in front, but somehow Brer Fox gets in front of him. He wants to be the first one to swing the hammer. Here we go. Brer Fox jumped up a-trying to send some flint dust flying, but all he raised was a single little chip. Brer Rabbit sneaked off slowly, so humble, meek, and lowly, but a big old smile was tugging at his lip. As he's walking off with something on his mind, he says some words for old Brer Fox, who's ready to swing. Brer Rabbit said, he said, swing, 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 Brer Fox, swing, swing till the flint dust swells. Oh, swing, it's your duty for the hand of your beauty. Oh, swing, Brer Fox, swing, Brer Fox, swing. How many of y'all ever seen ashes in the house? Not cigarette ashes either. Came out of the stove, didn't it? Or out of the fireplace. Well, you got to do something with that stuff. You can't leave it in the house, so you usually take it out someplace. You might dump a dishpan of water on it or something, but some ashes outside the house. Here's what old Brer Rabbit did. He sneaked up to the chimney and he slipped his shoes off nimbly and filled them full of dust from the old ash heap. Then he sneaked back to the flint rock just as Brer Fox did his best shot. He brought no dust and thus met his defeat. Brer Rabbit, whoop, stop, gotta talk a little bit, y'all keep picking. Well, during the time, Brer Possum came along and he tried, and he couldn't make it work. Brer Coon, he tried, he couldn't make it work. Emo Terrapin tried. No, he didn't. What he did was, he said, I got a crick in my neck, I think I'm gonna take off from this one. So it's Brer Rabbit's time. Brer Rabbit took the hammer and came down with a whammer. He slapped his heels and the dunder ash dust flew. Brer Fox, he got to sneezing, Miss Meadows and the girls were wheezing. Brer Rabbit knocked down lick number 2. Now the girls have got a response to this thing. Now they cried, stop, stop, please Brer Rabbit, stop. To give your fancy choice we will not fail. Stop swinging, it's your duty to give the hand of your beauty, the lovely Miss Molly Cottontail. Old Brer Rabbit had a good thing going here, buddy. He'd swing that hammer and he'd jump up and he'd knock his feet together and smoke just kept on a-coming. So he would swing, swing, Brer Rabbit, he would swing. He'd swing till the daylight fades away. But the first of his 3 chances took the girl off his fancies, and dust from a flint rock saved the day. Thank you. All right. I thought he was pretty sharp. I wouldn't have thought about that. I wouldn't have thought about filling my shoes up with ashes, but anyway, that's the story. Now another one, and some of the group here said they like this one. This is Brer Terrapin learns to fly. Now, I already mentioned that sometimes Brer Terrapin would cheat too. One time he got into a pulling match with Brer Bear. And what he said was, now y'all take this bed cord. Now nobody knows that I found out what a bed cord is, but it's a cord of some kind. Miss Meadows gave him one while she was making some candy. And they were going to have a pulling match. And Brer Bear said he was the strongest, and Brer Terrapin said he wasn't. Brer Terrapin said, I'm the one who beat old Brer Rabbit in a race, and I can beat you in a pull. Well, now he was a box turtle. How many of y'all know what a cooter is? A cooter, that's that flat one. You know, that's not a cooter. This is not eating turtle. This is not snapping turtle, that's what they call a cooter. Anyway, it's a box turtle, a little round turtle, you know, about as big around as this. But he told him he could do it, so he took the string, he told him to go on up the other way, and he got out of sight and went down in the creek and tied the end of that piece of cord to a root. And of course, you know, he told him to pull and it didn't work. So he's not beyond being sneaky. Here's another little idea about him. Let me see if there's anything else in here that I want to tell you about before we do it. I don't think there is. Oh, who knows what runt is? A couple of y'all know what runt is? Yeah, runt. And sometimes it's teetotally runt. Well, I couldn't get runt to rhyme, so what I did instead was I tried to rhyme it with doing, and so I did ruint instead of runt. Runt's better, but I couldn't make them say how you durnt. All right, this is Bert Tappan Learns to Fly. And this is sort of a loping tune. This one is based on a tune called Soldier's Joy, a fiddle tune. There are some words for it, I think, and I tried to find where it came from and was not able to do that. But it is an old fiddle tune, and I've heard it for years, and probably you have as well. But it's sort of based on that tune. Let's see if we can do just a little of it before we start. Bert Tappan was shuffling down the road, eating of dust a heavy load. He saw Bub Buzzard in the sky. Said, I wish that I could fly, Bub Buzzard, to fly I want to learn. It makes my little tapping heart yearn to see you soaring up in the sky. Bub Buzzard, teach me how to fly. I want to tell you, by the way, Bub Buzzard is the most agreeable character in those whole stories, in my opinion. And y'all ever seen a buzzard on the ground? Not in the road now, on the ground. Seen a buzzard on the ground? I went home one time after I saw my first one. I told my daddy, I said, Daddy, I saw a bunch of turkeys. He said, son, they're not turkeys. They're buzzards. Not vultures either, buzzards. Well, here's Bub Buzzard. Well, I don't know, Bub Buzzard smile. You'd have to hang on for a mighty long while. Jim said I can hang and never slip, 'cause the Tappin's known for his famous grip. Well, it took the first flight in cloudless weather. Old Jim latched on the Bub Buzzard tail feather. They flooped and they swarmed into the sky. Bert Tappan, he was learning how to fly. Well, it didn't take Bert Tappan too long till he decided he knew how to do this. It's real easy. Well, here's what Bert Tappan said. Now I don't need more training flights. I know how to fly, I've set my sights. But Buzzard, you get me in the air. I'll finish this flying theme from there. Bert Buzzard, Bert Tappan, you have no wings, and you can't fly without those things. If I turn you loose in the sky, you know you'll spin like a top, you'll fall like a rock, and you won't be going slow. Well, old Bert Tappan's hard-headed. Bert Tappan insisted, so up they flew. Bert Buzzard yelled, here goes, and turned him loose. Bert Tappan, he flapped his tail real hard, rattled his feet till he got tired, but nothing he did would make him swoop. He turned somersets, but in a downward loop, he hit the mud with a great big whack. But luckily that Tappan landed flat off his back. Bub Buzzard, he said, how you doing? Awful, terrible, teetotally run. It's all your fault, I'm such a sight. You never taught me how to light. It's all your fault, you're such a sight. Never taught me how to light. I gave you all a bad turn there, but thank you anyhow. Two things I forgot to tell you about this one. You know, referred to Bert Tarrypin as Jim. That's the only one I know that's got a name. He's called Jim because one time all the boys were up at the, everybody except Brer Fox was up at Miss Meadows' house, and they were having a good time. And somebody said, I think Bert Tarrypin said, "I'm upset," or something to that degree. And they asked him why. And he said, "Something Brer Fox said." Miss Meadows says, "You don't mean you cussed?" And Bert Tarrypin said, "No, I didn't cuss, but he hollered out and called me Stinking Jim." Now, how come Bert Tarrypin was Stinking Jim? I don't know, but they called him Stinking Jim or Jim from that time forward. Now, there's another use of the word sight. We hear the word sight sometimes is, I got a whole sight of peanuts. But also, have you ever heard somebody being caught say about somebody that you're a sight? You're a sight. The Southerners say you're a character. You're a sight. Not a sight for sore eyes, I don't guess. But anyhow, that's a couple of words that were in there that was good. Oh, by the way, Somersets. Y'all, somersault, Somerset. Somerset, somersault. How many of you somersault? Raise your hand. Anybody Somerset? Just me. Just me, okay. My daddy said Somerset, and I use Somerset instead of somersault. Okay. Well, we got another one here, and it's the last one, except we want you to maybe help us sing one before we stop. This is about Brer Buzzard's gold mine. Like some people, at least prior to the most recent crash, the animals down in the briar patch and environs were all wanting to get rich quick. And what they always hoped to do was to find the gold mine. Now, you know, around here there were gold mines. There were gold mines at one time. But they wanted to find a gold mine, and that would be a way that they could get a leg up on everything. And so Brer Rabbit here and Brer Buzzard are going to raise some corn together. They're going to go in shares. They'll buy the seed. They'll buy the fertilizer. They'll probably share the work, although I don't expect Brer Rabbit to do too much of it, but maybe. Well, anyhow, they did that, and at the end, there wasn't too much left. I got to ask you about another word, and that is it's corn called roastnear. How many of y'all know roastnear? Or it is roasting ear. But most people, where I come from, it's roastnear. And so we'll use that word, but I think I said roasting ear in this song. Let me see if there's anything else in here I want to tell you about. Brer Rabbit can't swim, but Brer Rabbit meets his, he sort of meets his equal with Brer Buzzard here. And that's one of the reasons I like it, because all the way through the thing, Brer Rabbit comes out on top. Now, whatever way things happen, he comes out on top, but this time he doesn't. He did with the milk, you know. He did by getting thrown in the briar patch. We got some accompaniment out the back door there. If we find out what key they're in, we'll help them out. Brer Buzzard's gold mine. The tune for this one was called a Japanese Grand March. Now, to me, it doesn't sound an awful lot like a march, but that's what it was called, and that's how it was written down. And so that's the tune I got this from, but it seemed to fit pretty well. It appeared in a banjo book somewhere around 1860. Y'all ready? Brer Rabbit and Brer Buzzard got into a partnership. They were cropping together on a field of corn. When the harvesting was over and it's time to eat that corn, seemed like all Brer Rabbit's, Brer Buzzard's share of it was gone. That's what happens when you think you know it. All Brer Buzzard's share of it was gone. Brer Buzzard, he said, "Looky here, Brer Rabbit. Looky here, Brer Rabbit. I want to know what you did with my corn. If you won't talk about it, I'll know that you have got it. I'll make you pay me back, that's for sure. Yes, I'll make you pay me back, that's for sure. Well, that didn't do too much good. Brer Buzzard got tired of waiting for his answer back, and he never got a single roast in an ear. I did say it. Then he decided he's gonna keep his promise to that rabbit, and he came up with a scrumptious idea. Then he came up with a scrumptious idea. All right, here's his plan, and he says it out loud. Said, I'm going to my gold mine just across the river. I'm gonna go and pick out chunks of gold. Brer Rabbit, he hopped over. He was just a grinning. I wanna help you work that old gold hole. Yes, I wanna help you work that old gold hole. All right, they come to this river, but the thing about it is, Brer Buzzard's decided that his gold mine's on an island, a small island in a river. They get there. How am I gonna cross that river, old Brer Rabbit asked. If I try to swim, I'm bound to catch a cold. Get on my back, Brer Buzzard smiled, and we'll sail up into the skies, and then we'll light and mine a pile of gold. Then we'll light and mine a pile of gold. Now this time Brer Rabbit didn't think about it. He was thinking about that gold and not thinking about where he's fixing to go. Old Brer Rabbit climbed up. Old Brer Buzzard rose up. Sailed up to the limb of a forest pine. Now about that sweet corn, old Brer Buzzard asked him, I think I'm gonna ask just one more time. Yes, I think I'm gonna ask just one more time. Don't wiggle while you're talking, my dear buzzard friend. I am scared that I might fall out of this tree. Now about that share of sweet corn of which you were inquiring, I think we can locate it, yes sirree. Yes, I think we can locate it, yes sirree. And old Brer, I tried to make him talk like a lawyer, you know, because his mouth was a big asset. I think that these stories have a lot to say to us today. Their lives are simple, but they've got all sorts of characters in there. And those characters are all having to worry. Most of them are having to worry how they get along, how they're going to make it. Some of them have different tempers. Some of them I don't really consider to be stories for children. The end of some of these characters I don't think are really appropriate for children, but some of them are, and some of them are appropriate for older ones as well. We thought that since this was sort of like back porch or a front porch, in my hometown when I was growing up, Mr. Rillard Duke sat on the front porch of his house and picked his banjo. Matter of fact, it's probably the first banjo I ever touched was his. He said it's got a Rogers head on it, and in those days that was the stuff. Matter of fact, I remember it had a little hole that burned in it. He had dropped cigarette ash on it, burned a little hole in it, but it just pick on anyway. And then that was up the hill from me, and then kind of catty corner across the schoolyard from my house, a man named Flake Martin sat, and he played this way, and the other man played that style. But you did have that, and we sat out a lot when I was a kid on Joe Perry's front porch and played. Matter of fact, that's how I learned, was sitting there with folks on that porch. So porch has got a good feel too, and I want to say also I appreciate the opportunity that I had to do this that Mr. Coleman provided. We thought it might be a good idea, though. I got to thinking now. Joel Chandler Harris does deal with some church-related matters in his stories, but not Brer Rabbit stories. But I thought if Brer Rabbit went to church, I think I know what he'd sing. And I think he'd believe every word of it. Was it G we did that in? Swing low, sweet chariot. Y'all want to help us? Where you want to, will you? Where you want to or not? Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. He knew he was going. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. You know, I'd like to ask y'all to stand up, but since we're sitting, I don't guess. Yeah, y'all stand up. You can breathe better. Get up there. And see if you can make a racket. We'll do the same Bert. No, if you get there. If you get there before I do. And I want you to remember, Brer Rabbit, sure he was going. If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home, tell all of my friends I'm coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, oh sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Brer Rabbit thinks he's gonna get to go, coming for to carry him home. But from all of his junk, I think it ain't so, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Thank you very much. Bless you for coming. Well, I guess it's over, so I guess we're supposed to quit. Yeah, we can do something. But in what key? All right. Keep going, keep going. I'll be there in a second. I'm slow.